Hey.
Well, technology, damn.
I was like, okay. How you guys doing today?
What's going on? We in here.
All right, welcome to the experience, guys. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy to be with you. I have, look, now I gotta know what side you're on. You're over here, right? I have to my left, Tyrone, aka Mr. Chocolate.
What's happening?
And I have right below Mr. Chocolate, I have Dr. Royal Rain.
What's up?
All right. And if you notice, we have a few special guests this evening. So I'm going to start off with Dr. Royal Rain. Who's your guest?
So this evening, I have the pleasure of introducing the world to my yin, I guess. I don't know if he might be my yang, depending on what day it is. But
shit, I'm the both.
But anyway, this is my wonderful husband, Eric. So welcome, husband, to the experience.
And welcome to the experience, Mr. Royal Rain.
Thank you.
All right. And then right below me, I have Arania Adams. Introduce yourself. Yeah.
I am. No. I am the one and only Arania Adams. I am actually a licensed marriage and family therapist, but I am here on behalf of my couple, me. No, my husband and I am here to represent us. My husband is Sheldon. He could not come tonight. So I'm here trying to just be a part of this conversation, maybe drop some knowledge and learn a few things.
Wonderful. So, Mr. Chocolate, you removed your wonderful.
Oh, when I logged in. I had to change that.
But please introduce yourself again and your other half, though. Your yin is not here. So go ahead.
Yeah, not here. So Tyrone, aka Mr. Chocolate, for those who call me that. All right. So yeah. So my better half, she's in Detroit doing some stuff for work because that's the only reason you go to Detroit. She's up there, so
well, only legal reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I don't know why you go to Detroit, So yeah, she's up there, and we've been married for about 15 years.
I'm about to say you better pass that test.
You cannot say about. You can't say that. Gotta be specific.
Are you specifically remembering the 15 years?
Yeah, 15 years.
Okay, yeah. 15 years. So tonight we are going to talk to these wonderful married folks about the joys and sometimes the not so joyful things of marriage. We're going to try to be as transparent as possible without feeling like we're disrespecting our other half. We so often get on and we talk about bad relationships, toxic relationships, finding the right one. But what about when you find the right one? What is that like? Is it easy peasy? So I have a few questions being the future married person.
Claim it.
I just told the group that someone is looking for a headache and I am it.
That's bad advertising. You need to rebrand this shit.
No, it's the truth. And that's how you start a good relationship, with the truth. You acknowledge your faults.
Exactly.
You present it that way. And boom, can't nobody say you lied. They can't be surprised when they get a headache.
Tequila gives you a hangover, but y'all still drink it.
Exactly. See, the beer commercials don't be like, hey, have people throwing up. People in bikinis, sitting on the beach. They don't be like, hey, Corona, you gonna throw up and
no. What you did last night?
That happens later when you
But here's the problem is you it happens and then you got to learn from that. But if you straight up truthful and say this is what you're getting into, you have a choice. Take the headache or don't. This is not false advertisement, at least, right?
I've never seen a commercial that say, "Want to forget yesterday? Drink Everclear." Never seen that.
No. The truth, see, that's why I kind of disagree, because see, advertisement is not supposed to be blunt. It's supposed to kind of be, you know, hey, I'm the wonderful headache. You're gonna love
and
it.
this is why people
and be like, I'm a damn headache. Deal with it.
Yeah, straight up.
I don't know.
At least you know I'm honest. How about that? So,
It's funny too.
yeah. So let's start off our questions. I will start off with Dr. Royal Rain. So, what was your first impression, or what were your first impressions of one another?
I'm gonna let you talk first.
Okay, that's following me. Shit.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
First impression.
Oh, pause. Disclaimer: he is from Baltimore, representing Charm City. So,
And why till I die? It's okay.
You know what I'm saying, baby?
So,
Right.
so
Be more in the house.
So just
Play that percolator, watch them dance.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. My first thoughts was, damn, she got a fat ass.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And damn, she got some nice breasts.
Okay. So you were physically attracted to her first?
Yeah, you know, I mean, well, no, I can't say that because before I met her, we was talking on the phone for a while, you know, before we even met. And I was like, okay, cool. She kind of cool. She got a good personality and shit. You know what I'm saying? But what threw me off at first when we was talking, she was like, well, I want to go ahead and tell you I got blue eyes and blonde hair. I don't know what the fuck. Like, damn, I thought what's this on the fucking phone? You know, that's me. But I'm just saying. But then when she told me, I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, but like I said, from our conversations and everything, she seemed like she was pretty cool. And that's what I gravitated to, I guess, because she was so easy to talk to and everything.
And so the bonus was when you saw her body, you was like, damn.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was just bonus and shit. I was like, okay, cool. She got some ass to go with this knowledge. So yeah.
Nice. The package.
Yeah.
What about you, doctor?
So piggybacking. Yes, the conversation was cool. We had good dialogue, talk about anything. When I first met him, I thought he was kind of dorky.
Oh gosh, man. Here we go with that bullshit.
Oh, Will Smell Jada.
This is the truth.
He hit him with the J.
I'm not gonna tell the story.
No, go ahead. Please tell the
I'm not
story.
going to tell the story.
Tell the story, please.
So really quickly, because he said, tell y'all the story.
Tell the story, please.
The short version is when I met Eric on our first date, it truly was a blind date because literally we met through a online dating service. Okay, so we had never met. We just had dialogue, and so when I first met him, appearance-wise, he appeared to be very virginistic. Okay.
Whoa.
I did say virginistic. Yes, Eric. Yes, already I did say virginistic. He appeared to be very virginistic to me, which is fine. Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't like to be called virginistic, but
I don't know what that means.
But he had all these khaki pants and a Droopy Dog T-shirt. Y'all know Droopy? Yes, him. Oh my God!
She keeps saying that shit. I don't remember that though.
But
you know what I'm saying? And I must say, she say virginistic just because I wasn't trying to hit the ass the first night or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So kind.
I mean, but that's just not me. That's just not me.
Was it that he wasn't aggressive enough? That's what made
No. It wasn't even the aggressiveness. Just like physical, like literally when I looked at him, he just appeared to be like a little sweet, innocent thing.
Because I am.
I don't say nothing wrong with that.
The whole
Yeah.
Catholic boy thing.
Because I was.
It's just so,
See,
woo.
shit.
So yes. Okay, so that's us.
So do y'all need a session right now? Do this need to be a live therapy session? Because I could make that happen right now. We can handle it. I just changed my name on here.
Oh my
Okay.
God. All right, Tyrone, the first time you saw, pronounce your wife's name again, I apologize.
Sherry.
The first time you met Sherry, what was your impression of her?
But I met my wife. We known each other since grade school.
Oh, wow.
So I was a little kid. So
So
I
you
was
said
like,
that she was annoying.
she was a little kid. She was a girl. I mean, I thought she was a pretty girl. And but like when I started, like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to do something. That was like later in high school.
Okay.
I think so. We had an English class together. And so first she was English class, and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh shit, she done filled out. I'm like, okay, all right. Puberty's been kind to her. All right, all right. So
there's summer vacations now.
I was like, oh, okay. And then so high school. So I was like, I was in the sports. I was like all over the place. So I was kind of but then I was shy. I didn't really know what to do. That didn't come till later. When I,
So you were virginistic too.
I ain't really jump out in the streets till later. I ain't really know. I was like, I like doing shit and whatever. But we got put in a group together, and I was like, oh man, look at this, look at God. So we was in a group. We were in a group, and so we had exchanged numbers because we had to do some work. And I don't think with no damn work. I was like, I got a number. Boom. Appreciate the English teacher. So we start talking, from there. So we're talking and I still like I moved a little bit too slow, and so I was giving a call and she was like, oh, I'm dating some dude. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, what? What's going on? So she had like a little boyfriend and so all through high school we were friends. And then I think later on, I tried to, I met her at a friend's house and I tried it. She was like, nah. She's like, you give me a kiss, but that's about all that's gonna happen. I was like, damn. That's it. So I was kind of friend zoned in high school. But we was real close though. We would talk for hours. She was like one of my best friends in high school. Like one of my best friends in school. So, but I ain't never, we went together. She had some boyfriends. And then I ain't like them. I had a couple of girlfriends, and she wanted to fight the girls, but we never.
I wonder why.
But we wouldn't. I don't know. Somehow it didn't happen in high school. So then I go in the military, and in the military I figured it out. I found out. I was like, oh, this is how it works. It's easy. I was like, oh, and they like me. Oh, I was kind of a menace in the streets a little bit. Okay, a little bit of a monster. Okay, so I went around the world. I had a few this and that.
Was that
so then we came back together. We got in contact again, and we started talking, and we were like kind of getting serious. I was in Fort Lewis, Washington, out like other side of the country, and I was talking to her like long distance, but she wanted to come out there, and I was always kind of like, hold on, wait. Because I was like, before she come out here, I gotta tie things up. Because it was it was just stuff was going on.
Military.
I was a single soldier, and she was hundreds of miles away. So she was like, she stopped talking. So we kind of stopped talking. Then I got out of the military. That's when we got serious, and we got up again, and we really started dating. And then at some point I was like, well, hey, I always wanted you. So what's up? Let's get married. And she.
That's so sweet.
And so I was like, hey.
Wrote a little sign. You like?
Because she was always on my mind. I always thought about her. Even like when I had girlfriends, I was like,
damn, even when I had girlfriends.
She just saying here, you just holding a place. And so when I got a chance to be with her, I did.
Nice.
Because I kind of knew. Because men know. You know when you know. I was like, yeah, this is what I need to do. And so I did it. And we've been married 15 years. I said about, that's just how I talk. But so
Who's
it's
messing
15,
with you, Tyrone? Come on.
it's 15 years. It's been good, man. You know, hey, there's struggles. There's been some little valleys.
Yeah,
You
we're
know.
gonna talk about them struggles in a minute. Hold on, don't tell us too much. We're gonna come back. What about you, Arania? How did you meet Sheldon?
So, similar
What
story
was
to
your first impression of Sheldon?
my first impression. Well, again, we were little kids. We grew up down the street from each other, same street. And first time I saw, I guess we were probably about 8 or 9, maybe. I could not stand him because in our neighborhood, it was the Catholic school and the public school. And we didn't like each other. Like we were like rivals, right, in the neighborhood. But we would have to walk past the Catholic school to get to the public school. So they would like taunt us and like call us names and all kind of stuff. So, oh, it was terrible. So they used to treat, so I went through that for years with him. And then when we got older, I didn't even realize we went to the same high school. Now, living on the same street, going to the same high school, and I didn't realize it until our junior year, so 11th grade. And I would be walking home, and him and his best friend would be walking on the other side of the street, and I try to wave, and they'd be like, "Shut up and go home!" Like still taunting me in high school. Okay, so, but I literally we were in a class together, and I remember I was like, I want a boyfriend, like, and I only need a boyfriend for a couple months because I just want a boyfriend. And I literally looked around the classroom, and it was between him and another guy. And I was like, well, I know him, and I know where he comes from, like, you know, right down the street. Convenient. I was like, boom, him. So I go to his best friend, and I whispered in his ear, "Does Sheldon have a girlfriend?" And he screamed across the classroom, "Hey, yo, Shel, you got a girlfriend?" And it was just like, "Er." But what I didn't know was his best friend had been trying to get him to talk to me.
Oh, okay.
So when I did that, it just opened up the door. So then, you know, we kind of got close. We started hanging that day. And then I was sneaky, and I rushed home that day because I knew what bus he took home. So I said, if I get home first and then I walk back to the corner store, I know I'm going to pass him by. So I did that, and I passed him by. And then on my way back, I rang his doorbell.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I literally rang his doorbell.
I need to go walking down the street and ring people's doorbells now. That's what
you got to do. No strangers. Hey, you about to get it.
Yeah,
but yeah. So we started talking, and I mean, he tried the tough guy. You know, I don't talk. I talk about stuff like this on the phone. I said, well, go in the house, get a piece of paper, and write my number down. So he was like,
and
okay.
why till I die?
Right, and he still has that piece of paper, by the way. But yeah, so we started talking, and we have been together ever since. So,
Hi, it's Mr. Chocolate.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
What a wonderful surprise welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Okay. Well, for those of you who haven't figured out, this is Mr. Chocolate's.
yeah.
Hey.
Hi there. I'm actually traveling for work, so I just came back in from a work dinner, and I logged on. So
yeah, I'm so excited. It's a good surprise. Okay, well, you're right on time for the serious stuff. So we heard all
Wait.
Whoops, sorry.
I didn't tell you what Sheldon's first impression was of me.
Oh, he already told you. Okay, go ahead, girl.
Oh yeah, he told me this. Yeah. I said, what was the first thing you thought of me? He said, well, when I looked at you, I said, she got a nice ass and some nice titties. I said,
What is that?
okay. He was like, hey, I mean, that's what I thought. And I was like, okay. But you see, I used to sneak out of class, and I would go to the gym because I used to like to look at his legs and his butt and all this when he played basketball. So I would literally peek in the gym window, and I would just be watching him. Yeah. So physical attraction's huge. But
apparently, because titties and ass.
It definitely helps.
Sorry.
At least he was honest, right? So
No, I mean, But you know what? And I'm gonna be real with you. You know, we always hear so much of relationships that are built on just the physical, but it sounds like it was exciting to see the physical and then
Yeah.
also have that we're able to talk because Tyrone said it, Arania said it. You know, like we were talking, we talk on
Yeah,
the
we
phone for
talked.
hours, and then when I saw him, I was like, "Damn!" To add it together. So that's, I'm halfway there. I'm joking, I'm messing. All right,
Claim it, girl.
they online. They just don't know they're online. So, serious question. What has been the most challenging time during your relationship? And I will start, or I'll give you a moment because I see everybody look up.
You gotta think.
I would say our most challenging time was the initial. Well, we had a couple of challenging times, but the initial adjustment of living together. Because I'm a firm believer, even though I know this is contradictory to old school thought about shacking. That's what old folks call it, right? But I think it's important in order for you to know if you guys are really compatible is to live with each other. But that's just me. Nobody has to listen to me. But we had an adjustment period with reference to that from the standpoint of we were a blended family. Okay. My husband has 2 children. I had 2 children at the time. So we had to learn how to parent each other's children. But and that'll be a whole different conversation. So I won't get into all of that if you ask that question about that. But
I promise.
But yeah, but no, if you do, I mean, I'm just saying, like, but I didn't want to take up, a whole lot of time. But what I'm saying is, though, that I think that was a challenging point for us. Would you agree?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, because it's one thing just dating or just hanging out or going to each other's spot or whatever. But then when y'all got to be with each other 24 hours a day, every fucking day and shit, it'd be like, well, damn, hell. Shit, close the bathroom door when you're in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you get used to that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get used to it. And I mean, it's just getting used to each other, I guess, is the first initial thing, I guess. But after that, it's like, okay, well, you do this, I do that, a little bit different. So, but you get used to it, and it's like really them differences or quirks is what make you like care for each other even more sometimes, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you be like, well, damn, she do that. I kind of dig that, and when she don't do it, I kind of miss it. So I mean, yeah.
Y'all stringing this hopeless romantic's heart. It's so cute. Okay. Arania, what has been the most challenging time during your marriage?
Believe it or not, it was like we were married well over 10 years. And it was just a lot of transition. It was, jobs transition or not being happy in jobs or, finances was looking, kind of funny. That's a big part of your relationship, things like that. Our kids was young. It was just a lot of stuff moving. And so it just created it created a lot of tension between us. And I think for us, because the history of our relationship, because we've been friends for so long, and I mean like literally growing up together and just being friends and experiencing new things together, and just we were kids literally when we started dating, 16 and 17 years old, but just growing up and, getting used to each other. But because our relationship was built off of, friendship and conversation, we did not argue when we dated. Excuse me. We didn't argue. We didn't fuss. We had friends who would get mad at us because they argued all the time. They couldn't understand why we couldn't argue. And we was like, we don't argue. And we end up arguing because of them. And then we was like, man, we can't do that because that's just not us. It was ridiculous. But so arguing has always felt uncomfortable. Some couples, they could argue and they used to it. They used to chaos. But we are not like that. We do not like the way it feels, and so it was just a really, really tough time, but it was so short. It was such a short moment in our lives, in our marriage, because we knew how to recover from it. Like we knew how to just take our space. We knew how to talk about it. We knew just what we needed to do to get back right. And so, we made a promise to ourselves that we would not ever get like that again. Now, do we still have disagreements? Yeah. Who doesn't, right? But it's not like that one moment in time, so but yeah, so that was pretty tough because it was just uncomfortable for us. So
yeah. Sounds good. What about you, Mr. and Mrs. Chocolate? What has been the most challenging times in your marriage, or the challenging time in your marriage?
Well, I'll go first. I think for me, the most challenging time was when he returned from deployment, because so it happened really quickly that we got married. Our nephew, who was 16 at the time, moved in with us. I found out I was pregnant with our child, and then he got his orders to be deployed. So all of we moved in together, got married, like everything happened very quickly. And so the most challenging time was when he came back from his deployment and thought that we would pick up where we left off. And I was very angry because he left. He was gone for a long time, for almost a year. And there were a lot of firsts that I experienced by myself, like our daughter's first, just about everything. I was alone for that because he was off serving our country, and he made a commitment to our country. And I understand that, but it didn't help me at home because I had a teenager and shortly after a newborn. So it was very difficult. And I resented him for a while once he came back, because like I told him once, I didn't sign up to be a single parent. You made me, in a matter of speaking. I mean, obviously the finances were still there, but he wasn't physically there. Yeah. But it took him telling me, listen, if I could be here, if I could have been there, I would have been there. And it took me understanding that if he had left, we would have gone AWOL and would have left, that's court martial, and then prison time, and I didn't
even worse, right?
Right, we don't want that. But that was probably the most difficult time because I think he thought he could come back and just pick up where we left off, and it wasn't like that for me, because I had really adjusted to him not being here. And so it probably took about 2 or 3 years for me to get accustomed to him being back. And he was extremely an active parent. He tried to help as much as he very much. Oh no, I got it. I had it this long. I got it now. So that was on me. I accept responsibility for that.
Nice. Okay. What about you, Tyrone? Would you say it's the same or different?
I mean, yeah, that kind of sucked because I was, because she had that little resentment, and then I was like, damn, I was trying not to get blown up to get back to you. And then, like, when she had resentment, I was like, what? But I understood though, because one day I've kind of been an understanding person, kind of understood. So we kind of eventually got around that. I think the toughest thing for me is just life. Things happen in life, like when our parents passing away, like one of our like my dad passed away, her mom passed away. Just how you emotionally change and deal with that, and so it's kind of, just seeing that was tough. Like I know when her mom died, it was tough. I hated seeing how it affected her, and it just affected everybody. And just like it's kind of something you can't really control. You're just like, damn, feeling powerless. Like, man, I can't fix this. This is just a bad situation. But, you try to, you always want to. Well, I know for me, I always want to try to make things better for if I can. And that was tough, not being able to do anything and seeing her like be, because that was her homie, her mom. So that was tough. And then when my dad had passed away, that was really hard because, like as a dude, you don't want to be all emotional all the time. and that's something that, like men deal with. And it was like, and I was kind of hurt. I was really hurt about it. And then I kind of fell into everybody was like, oh, well, you gotta be strong for everybody. You gotta hold it down. And so that was a big struggle. And I think that kind of affected, me with relationships with her and everybody around me a little bit, because it just made me a little bit different,
Yeah.
I realized it might not have been, I feel like I kind of wasn't as just trying to, I wasn't good with my emotions. I was trying to hold back and be strong. And so it really makes you weaker overall. So being more affectionate, I think I wasn't doing as many things as probably I could, because I was just kind of a wreck. And, so that's probably the toughest that I can think of for me.
Nice. But very real, because it's
Yeah.
something that we all experience. So very real. So in 2023, everything on social media and television looks like it's the next best thing, right? We are living in a world of instant gratification, and I can do better. I got a flatter stomach, I got bigger boobs, I got a bigger damn that ass is big, right? So my question is, how have you kept the romance and the fun in your marriage going so those things don't pull you away? Or we all look, listen, y'all don't have to admit, I admit it for you, but how do you keep the romance and the fun in your marriage going, especially in these times? And I will start with Arania, since I started with y'all before.
Mhm. I first of all, I think it's definitely a mindset. Like, you really have to have the mindset of, I am committed. This is important to me. I'm gonna put my all in all into it. I really believe that that's what it's about, because we're not blind. You see a nice looking person walk by, you got to have self-control, in your values and respect for yourself and for your marriage, for your spouse. So, to be able to look and be like, oh, okay, but no feelings, right? And I do believe it's a mindset thing to be able to shut that off, to not lust for somebody else. I don't know anybody else's experience, but that's mine, that it was a mindset thing. I'm committed to this, right? So I took my vows very, very seriously. And I would, in the idea of, I don't ever want to do anything to jeopardize what we have built together, because this is a lot of work, right? And anything you're gonna put a lot of work in, you're gonna value it in a different way. So I think just really being honest, that's a big one when it comes to intimacy, really talking about, like, what you like, what I don't like, how I'm feeling, like really being upfront about it, and having conversations about it. And I don't know about anybody else, but I know after having kids and, you're going through different life changes and stuff, your body changes, the things that you feel. It's like, sometimes you're like, no, like, I don't want to be bothered. But then it's, how you going to do that to someone you love? Like, that's your husband. Right? This is a conversation I'm having with myself. This is my husband. I'm not going to shut him down like that, because there's a whole bunch of raggedy heifers on social media out here in these streets who are quick fast to switch up, and I'm not about to let that happen. So I think just really being open and honest with myself and with him, and hey, there's no no's. How about that? I had to make that commitment to myself. You will not say no, right? And you will enjoy it, right? It's not just, you will not say no and then you're gonna, I'm submissive or whatever. No, but I think have fun, right? Somebody told me before I got married, one of the pieces of advice they gave me was lots of costumes. I was like, all right, so, be willing to try new things. That's how we keep it exciting, and we laugh a lot. So I think that's what makes a difference also.
Nice. What about you, Dr. Royal and Eric? How have you kept the romance and fun in your marriage?
I'm scared.
What? I am
You
too.
gonna say it. You gonna say it. Go ahead.
No, it's not going to be scared. You know what I'm saying? But we do have a lot of fun together. We make each other laugh all the time.
As you can tell.
You know what I'm saying? We don't.
As I could tell.
Because we really don't like to argue about anything.
We don't argue like a Randy
Right.
and Sheldon.
Right.
We don't argue.
You know what I'm saying? We don't take stuff too serious. You know, we joke around, and even when I'm not, say, if I'm out or whatever, spending money like I'm supposed to be doing and shit. But then again, hey, you only live once. Anyway, but me, I mean, I think about my wife all the time because I'll be like, man, and I'll call one of my daughters and I'll be like, what size shoe your mama wear? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always thinking about it and stuff. So, and which I do a lot. I'll put her and the kids before me, even when I go to buy myself something, you know. But we have like little dates, lunches, brunches, and stuff. You know, we go out and cut a food when we out. We have a great time together because it's all about us. And sometimes she be like, shh, be quiet. I be like, I don't give a fuck what they think.
It's loud.
I be like, I don't care. I be like, it's us having a good time. You know what I'm saying? So if they can't appreciate us having a good time, then maybe they need to leave. You know,
Right.
But
Or mind their business.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Mind
mean,
your
but,
business.
we enjoy each other.
Yeah.
And we enjoy spending time together. We enjoy sex. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. The whole big package. You know what I'm saying? We enjoy everything together.
Can I say something now?
Yes, you may, ma'am.
Thank you. So what I was gonna say is simply because it's important to talk about intimacy and sex, especially when you get older, because as Arania just said, like your body, you go through changes, women and men. We both go through changes. The beauty of going through perimenopause, and I don't know who on this panel is going through that outside of myself, but you want it when you want it. And I don't have them issues of, no, I ain't in the mood, because when he started rubbing, I'm like, ching. So, but what I'm saying to you guys is, but in all seriousness, like, as you age and you go through those changes, you have to be able to respect one another's position, where, you know, wherever they are.
48, 69.
No, husband, not.
I knew he was gonna say.
Oh my God. But no, but seriously, you know, because sometimes, like you say, like, and I'll speak for myself, like sometimes, like Arania said, I may not be in the mood, but I'm not going to shut him down or vice versa. Like, we'll figure out some commonalities, and I'll leave those pleasantries to your imagination, right? To be respectful of everybody here, but you understand what I'm saying, because we're all grown. You figure out some things to do in order to keep each other happy. And so, absolutely. So that's our 2 cents on intimacy and sex. And yeah.
Because okay. I mean, but one more thing though, real quick though.
Move forward.
Together so long.
Don't hush my March, brother. Go ahead, March.
I mean, one more thing I must say is that I'm retired, so I always got energy for something. But I know my wife has to go to work early in the morning, so I try to respect that. You know what I'm saying? And I know which days she don't have to go to work, so I try not to respect that.
So he's gonna disrespectful.
So you know, because I know she gotta get up early in the morning and go in and stuff like that. So that's why I try to do things so that she don't have to, like, say, have dinner ready for her and then the baby and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know,
he does all the cooking.
So, you know, I mean, it's give and take on both parts, regardless.
I just want to say before we go on to Mr. and Mrs. Chocolate. So I've been around Arania and Sheldon, and I've also been around Eric and Dr. Roy. And when I tell you that, yes, they are always laughing and always acting a fool, I've experienced both separately, and I promise you they are not exaggerating.
I believe it. Hey, I'm with it.
Hey,
man.
listen, if you're not having fun, then I mean, you boring. That's how I see it.
Listen,
Wow.
I act a fool, so I just slide right in. Ain't no third wheel. Slide right in.
She ain't lying either.
Tyrone and Mrs. Chocolate, how do you keep the romance? Sorry, I'm tripping over my own mouth. What have you done to keep the romance and fun alive in your marriage?
So we still go on dates. We go on dates. My love language is quality time. So I enjoy going out on dates. We could literally just be in the bedroom, and he could just be sitting at the foot of the bed, and I'm just happy that he's right there. So it doesn't. I'm pretty easy in that. I just rub my butt a little bit, fill me up a little bit, and that's all I need.
Listen, honey, high
I
five.
don't need a lot because if I want to go shopping, I go shopping, or I don't really, I'm not into gifts and things like that. I appreciate it. It's always appreciated. I work remotely, and it's nothing for me to go to my desk in the morning and he's put a pair of earrings or like some jewelry or something really nice on my desk, or he'll leave love notes in like little canisters around the house that says, I love you. Do you love me? Check yes, and like little
So
things all
sweet.
around. So it doesn't take a lot, to keep us kind of going. We're both pretty easy, chill people, and just kind of loving being around each other. We don't cut a food. Nobody will put us out of a restaurant.
We can
Like a little quiet, but we have a good time. We have similar interests. Like he enjoys fishing, but I don't like fishing. So I'll bring my kayak. So we'll go to the lake while he's fishing. I'm kayaking around the lake. So we just try to find ways to spend time together, and we don't have to be like right there with one another, but we'll try to find ways to kind of both enjoy what we're doing. So there's always a happy medium. I'm the queen of compromise, so I'll find a way for us to both be happy and get what we want. I like right now I'm traveling, but I enjoy traveling solo. And my favorite thing to do is come back home to them. Like I miss my daughter and my husband so much. I can't wait to get back home to them. So that also helps. Like just having a little break away from them and like really missing them. And like tomorrow when I get home, I can't wait to like hug them and kiss them and just, be with them again. So it's always good to have those little breaks in between. I'll go on a girls trip and come back home to them. So go ahead.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah, I think that's important. A lot of people, sometimes that little distance, builds the fire up. You be up under people all the time. Sometimes you got to get a little separate, little short separation, and that kind of builds your fire up. And then you good to go. Yeah, but we're simple though. Little rub here, a little tug there. We good to go.
he said
Yeah,
it?
we're gonna plug.
Not a tug. He said a tug. I love it.
Move. Yeah, just like
Rubbing and tugging. I'm right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to you again, Mr. and Mrs. Chocolate. Do you think what it means to be a good wife or husband has changed over the time that you've been together, and how? I know y'all need time to think.
From the very big, from when we first got married, what we thought.
So here, let me do a little narrative. So when we first get married, or when we decide, okay, I want to get married, in my mind, you're saying to yourself, I can be the wife or husband this person needs. I can be a good wife or husband, right? Because no one's going, I'm gonna be a shitty wife or husband and then getting married. Even if they are, they just don't say. Okay, so there is a standard that you've created in your mind of what a good wife or husband is, right? So I'm asking, thinking about when you first said, this is the person I want to be with, to now, has that changed? Has that?
Absolutely. For me, we got married when we were 29, and I was still getting to know myself. Like my core values haven't changed, but what I thought a good wife, because my mother was a homemaker. She didn't work. She worked in the home, but she did not go to an office or anything like that. So my mother had dinner prepared we had 3 meals a day, and so to me, being a good wife started out being, I cook every single meal. I do all of the household, so the typical roles that a woman traditionally does. But as I evolved and matured, I realized that sometimes that's not the most important thing. sometimes being that rock and being the steady person, just being a safe space for him to unload about, what has gone on throughout the day or throughout the week. So it really transitioned from being a person who kind of took care of the house and was seen as sort of matronly and the person who did the grocery shopping, to just being a rock and being a safe space for him. Like that, to me, that's paramount. We can go get food from a drive-through, but if I'm not there, then that changes the whole dynamic of the relationship. So for me, it is more about being a great wife and a great mother. And that has nothing to do with how well a cook I am or how clean the clothes are, how white the whites are, how they create,
Yeah.
or am I doing the hospital corner when I make the beds? Like it has nothing to do with that, and everything to do with supporting my husband and making sure that I make life easy for him, and I clear any roadblocks that are presented, and I demolish anything that's a threat to us, like just destroy it. So it's most important to me that we have peace and love and harmony than a hot meal. I can do both, but sometimes we have to prioritize, and I choose peace and love and harmony.
Amen.
Yes, that was wonderful.
That is so good.
Okay, now what about you, Mr. Chocolate?
Yeah, so you kind of grow over time. So I like the main thing always, as a husband, I just wanted to. So you hear about providing, so and so just learning the balance of family, and because you want to balance, make sure everything is taken care of. You want to make sure your finances are good, and but just learning that balance of not being too much, being gone too much, or like going overboard there, and spending time, and just make sure everybody feels love, because you can you can definitely get lost in providing, and then you look up and you like, dang, like everybody's like, well, who the hell are you? Like, so then you're like, damn, okay, so let me let me make sure I kind of cover this area, because they need that, they need me, they need that too. So just learning that, just growing over time as a husband, you learn that, and just that was the main part for me, just learning that balance,
The balance,
and still learning it, still because if I look, sometimes if I mess around, I look up and it'll be unbalanced, and I'm like, oh shit, let me hold on, let me straighten up, let me cover this area that I'm not covering. So that's kind of the thing with that. But definitely, I will say, my wife, she still cooks. She cooks good meals, well taken.
We see you chewing half the time. We know.
Be eating good. So that still goes down.
Well, I'd like to say, before I move on to Dr. Royal Eric for the same question, one thing I notice about you guys, couple wise, is you guys look happy even when you're not near each other. Like there's a joy that you guys have. Like it's just you carry your spouse with you. So for example, I spend a lot of time Zoom wise with Tyrone and Dr. Royal, right? But I promise you, they still carry their spouses with them, even when we're just talking about the show. The same with Arania and Sheldon. So I could be talking to Sheldon, I could see he's carrying Arania, and vice versa. It is just like, you'd have to see someone who's not carrying their spouse the right way. I've seen people in relationships and they have not blossomed. They're drained. They're tired. Whatever. But then when I see you guys, y'all are like, a well-stuffed turkey. You're juicy. You're seasoned. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a different look, right? It's a different, I'm being real. And I'm not saying that Tyrone and Arania and Dr. Royal are always smiling and laughing. It's in their eyes. Let me just be so Dr. Royal Rain and Eric.
So really quickly, when with regards to your question, yeah, for me, it has kind of evolved because I don't cook anymore. I can't even tell you the last time. I think when my baby brother came home, back in October was when I cooked or something. Like I don't cook anymore because my life is has had some transitions and my life is really busy between work and the show and just other stuff. So my husband does all the cooking. And if he doesn't want to cook, then cool. Then we DoorDash. Keep it moving. And so seriously. And as far as the other aspects of it, no, I feel like for me, I've maintained my position because Eric is my third husband. So the whole idea of marriage, I've been there and done that 2 times over. One was okay, not so good. The other one was the devil. And then I got my angel. So for me, going into marriage with my husband, like I was comfortable with who I was as a woman, and also just understanding what my role is as a wife, which is to have his back. And piggybacking off of what Sherry said, yeah, what you won't do is play with this right here, ever.
That's right.
You will get hurt. If you mess with me, he gonna get you. And if you run up on him wrong before you even step, I swear for God, you're gonna get cut. So
Okay.
oh God, I'm telling you. So yeah, that street gonna come out. You be like, what?
Need to call 911.
So
Leave him alone.
baby. So so just understand, yeah, you for me, we have kind of gone through a change. Babe, would you say you've evolved?
I mean,
and we switched roles too, because no, we have, because now that he's retired, when he was working, he was still stuck in military mindset, very regimented, very militant. Will cuss you out in a minute.
Still do that.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, but not and he doesn't cuss me, like he was talking about his employees. But the thing is, like, now that he's retired and he's relaxed, and I'm the one that's still the workhorse, we have literally switched our roles to the extent that he's more nurturing, more engaged with with our son, because our other kids are adults. Like, he does all of that stuff, and I'm the one that's around here bitching and rah, 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 what the hell y'all do? Like, it's me now. So it's super interesting to see that whole dynamic. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's cool. But because Baby Cakes is my second wife and my last wife.
Absolutely.
I put that.
Again, on God.
Because
it's reciprocated.
Because for me, when I first got married, I was in the military, like she said, and I wanted to be like my dad. My dad was a Marine. He was recon, special ops. So I said, I'm going to outrank my dad. He going to call me sir. So every opportunity I got, I was gone overseas somewhere, and so the first marriage didn't work. It couldn't, because I was gone all the time. So I wasn't trying to put forth no effort for it. And so, a good marriage is, you learn things. It takes effort sometimes, and you got to keep growing. I mean, you don't want to never settle for, oh, it's okay right now. You want it to always be great. You want to always have that laughter and fun and joy. So, right, it's continuous growth. And I think that's what we had. Because even when I was in the working as an exec, she would always put that push behind me to let me know that I could do it. Because I would come home from like Houston or from a meeting or something, and I'd be like, "Babe," I said, "It's crazy because," I said, when I get up to speak or whatever, I'm the only brother up in the conference. I said, everybody looking at me and they looking for me to make a mistake. you know, because as soon as I make a mistake, then be like, well, how do you know that? Where did you get that information from? You know, and if I wasn't on point, they'd be trying to come at me. And she would always push me to be the best that I could, you know, always. I mean, even when my own company wasn't supporting me, she would send me like edible arrangements or something to the office, you know, to let me know that I was doing a great job. And just little things like that would be like, yeah, that's my woman right there. That's my baby.
Yeah.
You know, and so like now, like she said, the roles have changed a little bit.
And now he's pushing me
But
to be great.
But I've always supported her, even when she would be like, hey, babe, I'm gonna have to stop working so I can finish school. I'm like, well, go ahead and stop working. Fuck it. Shit, I got money. I mean, I don't give a damn. Shit, we'll make it do what it do.
That was God.
You know what I'm saying?
That's who made that happen.
Yes, we were blessed so that we wouldn't have to worry about it. But I always tried to tell her to be the best that you can. Don't never settle. You know, and same thing we try to teach our kids. Don't never settle. And we've always had a partnership because a marriage is a partnership, and we try to work hard at it. But the thing is, when you love it and enjoy it, it's not even working at it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so easy. It just bam mashes. It's one piece of a puzzle matching with another piece of the puzzle. They both go together so fine. You know, so it works. It works great.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Arania?
Well, I agree with all of that, but and I should say, my husband and I, somebody asked us years ago, you know, how do you all have such a, you know, healthy marriage, or how do you stay together for so long? And we looked at each other, and one of us said communication, and the other one said compromise. And so that has been like our tagline, because we're like, you know, it can't work without both. And so I kind of look at, you know, that evolving. You have to grow. You should be evolving all the time, because you always learning something new about your spouse and about yourself. But I see it as a dance. You know, you step into the studio and they're like, okay, here's the steps, and you gotta first figure out, how do I move? What's my rhythm? Then you got to learn your partner's rhythm. Then you got to get together, and then you have to, a couple of times you're gonna step on each other's toes. But after a while, when you get focused on each other, it just flows, and you just flow together, and you feel the shift, right? So I feel like we're always growing, we're always evolving. And I actually, I used to pray, Lord, can you please change this man? Like, because he is, oh my gosh, if I pick up another sock, I mean, like, you know, like silly stuff, right? And then I remember God spoke to me, said, that's not the prayer. The prayer is, God, please purpose, you know, like, help me to be who you purpose me to be for his wife, for him, not just as a wife, but a wife to him, because we are all created uniquely. So, you know, who I could be for I wouldn't be anybody for anybody else, but who I could be for somebody else, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same as this man needs something in particular, and God designed him a certain way, what his needs are. And Lord, I need you to help me be who you purpose me to be for this man right here. So once I prayed that prayer, my whole perspective changed about, you know, being there for my husband. And, you know, I had to learn what it was to be a wife. I had to learn what it was to be taken care of, because I did not see that, you know. So we had maybe one healthy marriage in the whole family, you know what I'm saying? So I had to learn, you know, what to do, what to say. My mother was in that main role. So, you know, I didn't see a husband taking care of a wife, or, you know, a wife, you know, I didn't see that partnership, I should say. So I had to learn what that was. And it took a lot of, you know, conversations and everything. So we're always growing, always, you know. We got married at 28, 27, something like that. And so you're a kid. I mean, I still think before 30, you still trying to figure yourself out. And so, you know, just through the years and having kids and doing this and doing that and career changes and all, you just flow. And we literally just flow together. When one is like, all right, it's my turn. All right, I got your back. All right, my turn. I got your back. So I think as long as you keep the friendship, you know, it'll just flow. It'll just flow. And, you know, aside from all of that, he is truly blessed to have me because I know who God created me to be. Okay, no, I'm joking, but no, I'm serious. But honestly, you know, I believe he would say the same thing, that we just kind of flow together and we learned how to flow together and we just grew, you know, together, and we're always growing. So, and like you guys, he loves to cook and I love to eat. So, you know, so he cooks, but we it's not even like sometimes we don't even talk about it. It's just the energy, right? So he'll take something out during the day. He's working from home. I'm, you know, out. He'll take something out. By the time I come home, I see it's out. Either there's a plan for the meal or not. Sometimes if I have something to do, he just automatically jump in the kitchen. He'll cook. You know, if he's doing something, I jump in the kitchen and cook. If we both doing something, we make the kids cook. Honestly, like, but we just flow. We really, really just flow. And I'm so thankful for that. And to me, that's truly a blessing to be with someone who it's just an automatic flow, because there's a lot of people out there who don't have that. And I cannot imagine, you know, what it's like not to have my best friend as my husband, you know, and then we just work together. So
nice. Okay, well, we're at the 1 hour mark, so I'm just in here like, yes,
hey,
yes.
Pearl.
Yes.
Before we conclude, I know we at the mark, but I really need to say something.
Go ahead, girl. I was gonna ask for y'all a piece of advice for marriage. Go ahead. Girl.
So I guess this could be it, but when Eric and I met, he was literally, when we met, he wanted greater. He didn't have a resume. He said, babe, and this was probably like a couple of months into us dating. Like, he was like, babe, can you create a resume for me? I want to apply for this job. I created his resume based off of what he gave me. He got the job, but he did the work, that part of it. But I did the paperwork for him, resume wise. He went in there, got a job. During that time, he did not have a vehicle. We only had one vehicle, which was mine. I would get up because babe, you had to be at work at 5 a.m, right? Was it 5?
Yeah, 5.
I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We would get up. I would get him to work by 5. From dropping him off, I would come back home to the kids, make sure they were straight, and then all of us would be at our designated places or whatever for school, but I would head on to work. And we did that for a few years. Where I'm going with this is, I need for couples to understand sometimes you got to start from the ground in order to get to the top. And if somebody got it, then God bless you. But sometimes you got to start in them humble beginnings to appreciate when you get to the other side. And my husband spoke to this on his birthday, matter of fact, of just reflecting of his upbringing in Baltimore, Concrete City, right?
Amen.
And so just his upbringing and having this reflective moment of, dang, I remember when I was a kid, and then when we got together, we went through this patch, and now look where we at. And that's not being braggadocious, that's being thankful. That's being grateful. That's an attitude of gratefulness. And I just need people to, you know, that are watching to just understand that it's okay to be on the same page as far as trying to go to the next level together. Don't ever forget that the key is you're going together.
Together, exactly.
So that's all I wanted to throw out there.
That's not at all. That was good. That
is so good.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Woo. All right, Tyrone or Mr. Chocolate or Mrs. Chocolate, any last nuggets of knowledge you'd like to share about marriage?
I'll let Mrs. go.
Okay. Dr. Royal Rain, there is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together.
Amen.
Girl, why y'all over here about to make me pass the plate?
Yeah, but I love that. I think of it all the time. And then the Ubuntu philosophy, which is I am because you are.
Yeah.
And so like it's all reciprocal. Everything in
Yeah.
life is a circle. It'll come back around. So
That's right.
if I were to give a nugget of advice, I think it would be to be mindful of and observant of how people treat their families, because I think that if and I'm not saying everyone has to come from your partner doesn't have to come from a good family, but if you're mindful of how they treat their family, it's typically going to be how they treat you.
That's right.
So I just, I've always kept that in mind, even with friendships. Like how do my friends treat their families? Because that'll ultimately determine how they treat me. Because typically no one is treated better than the family. So that's my advice. Just be mindful and watch how people treat their families.
Tyrone, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just real simple advice for people, trying to think about whether they want to get in a relationship or not, or you're in a relationship. Stay off the internet.
Word.
Right? So stay off the internet. Definitely get off YouTube, because that's all toxic.
Unless you're watching us, stay if you
unless you're watching us. I'm talking about like these guru people or all these. Hey, if people are single and they never had a partner in years, I wouldn't take advice from that person. True. It's like taking advice from a mechanic and they work on bikes and never worked on a car before. It's asinine to see that a lot these days. So, talk to people that's been there, that's actually in the life and successful at marriage. That's what I would listen to, rather than somebody who's just, out here talking.
Yeah.
This has been so good to my soul. Lots of laughter, lots of love. I think what I'm going to take away from this is, one, center yourself with God. Yes. Whatever your version of God is, with God, right? Your core foundation, your core morals, all of that, right? Center yourself. Don't lose that, right? That's your foundation. Second, I haven't heard one person on this panel said they looked for that person. I did not hear one of you say that. And that's important, because all of you have said some type of friendship, some type of best friend. Don't force it. It'll be natural, right? I've never seen two people who are best friend forced. It is just natural. It is not a destination. It is a journey, right? So the best thing in a journey is to understand not where you're headed, but what you want it to be when you get there. And knowing that you never stop. You're like, oh, let's keep going. So I say all that to say that in a world where internet tells you that there's no point in marriage and there's no point in that, and when you get tired of that person, you can move on. I'm here to say that I witnessed from all these couples that when you find your best friend, that you realize there may be others out there, but
they're not for you.
You want to stay with your best friend. So
yeah.
I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight.
Can I have a final word?
Absolutely.
I was going to say, in relationships, I know I said the compromise and communication, and also there's no selfishness. A relationship will not work if you're not friends. And if you're selfish, it's just not going to work. So, and you got to do the work, because it won't work if you're not putting in the work. So it's a beautiful place to be.
I've said that before. I've told someone that if I am with a person and I'm so busy giving love and you're so busy giving love to me, how can we go wrong? We're just always in this constant, right?
Flow. The cycle.
Yeah.
When they get it, they'll get it. That being the case, Thank you all for joining us on The Experience, where the experience is always good. And thank you guys for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.